On Overdrive today, we bring you an exclusive look at the India-bound Lexus GX 500, taking the gorgeous sights of Kashmir in the first ground-up electric SUV from Mercedes-Benz, and get you a quick feel of the River Indy electric scooter. Hello and welcome to Overdrive. I am Soini Dutt. The Lexus GX 500. I guess you haven't heard of this SUV because Lexus had no plans to bring it down to our shores over the past 14 years. Yes, you heard that right. This SUV has been in production for over a decade, but Lexus India now plans to bring the latest iteration of this SUV down to our shores, which is why they exclusively flew down Rohit to test drive this car in off-road conditions. Here's that story.
This is the Lexus GX, or the grand crossover from Lexus. We are here in Japan to drive this car, primarily on an off-road circuit, because off-roading is now a very big important factor for this particular vehicle. The Lexus GX looks imposing with its big size and luxurious appointments, but you will be astonished at what it can do on and off the road. It is currently available with a 3.5-litre V6, but a hybrid is expected to be added to the lineup soon.
The version that we are driving is the one with the 3.5-litre V6, and it comes with a host of new off-road features that are essentially designed to make driving on these kind of conditions an absolutely easy affair. That's something that we are going to put to the test now.
We have seen plenty of specially designed off-road courses to show off the capabilities of off-road vehicles like these. But this course was made a bit extreme to show that the GX is far more capable than your average four-wheel drive SUV.
So what I have in front of me is a very steep articulation course, and let me tell you, much steeper than the kind of articulation courses that we usually drive back home in India.
The GX uses a traditional rigid rear suspension, but the wheel articulation, which is now extended by 110mm over the older GX, provides excellent traction and capability to tackle such a high degree of undulation. The new GX features Lexus's EKDSS, or Electronic Kinetic Damping Suspension System, which uses electronically controlled stabilizer bars on the front and the rear suspension. Depending on off-road or tarmac driving conditions, the system can unlock or lock these stabilizer bars respectively to either allow extreme wheel articulation on uneven surfaces or keep the vehicle flat, comfortable and sporty on flat or winding roads. With the help of the system, the wheels are able to move more freely and extend further into a pothole or an undulation for better traction. This also reduces the vertical movement of the cabin, and the passengers remain more at ease.
It just feels effortless. So there is a new mode select or a new terrain select system. So all you need to do is just put it in auto and the car literally does everything.
The mode selector is divided into two functions, drive mode and multi-terrain select, or MTS. Simply rotating the knob with the drive mode switch engaged will cycle between the road modes, Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, etc., which basically alter the engine and the gearbox responses, suspension behavior and steering feel. Press the MTS switch and the same rotary knob will allow you to cycle between the off-road modes and optimize the off-road hardware for sand, snow, rocks, etc. Depending on the terrain and the incline, you can use these off-road modes with low as well as high range four-wheel drive. Leave it in auto and it will do its own thing pretty intelligently, just like the new Defender, but with a lot more grace despite the big size.
So yes, 3.5-litre V6, it sounds huge, it is big, it's a big powerful motor, but the way the throttle has been designed, you can maintain a light throttle. There's no overwhelming power anywhere, and that's a good thing, because when you're driving off the road you want to be measured with the throttle, right? And it's so easy to articulate that throttle. It's just amazing.
Of course, the terrain select system plays a very important role in this regard too, but it's astonishing how its 350 PS or 650 Newton meters of output can feel so measured and precise. There's also a new 10-speed gearbox to help that cause.
other new bit is the electronic power steering. There is no kickback from the steering. It can be nicely controlled because it's an EPS. So all that massive kickback that you don't get that here. And then because this is a Lexus, the seats are also superbly comfortable. So you are not really going around, getting thrown around in those seats. It's nice, soft cushioning.
You're able to traverse the tricky, undulated terrain, but without the extreme side-to-side movement, head nods or jerks and kickbacks at the wheel. Some may think of this to be undramatic, but most will appreciate the luxury quotient that is attached to it. Speaking of luxury, the GX has a spacious cabin for 4, and the seats are well cushioned and large in size to comfortably ferry its passengers. Massage functions are also available for all the 4 passengers. Dashboard is dominated by a massive 14-inch screen, but there are enough switches to maintain the old-school feel and the ease of use. The instrumentation is all digital too and extremely detailed while being easy to read.
So now the next thing that I'm going to do is engage the DAC crawl mode, and using the mode select switch I can choose at what speeds I want the vehicle to crawl. And the other bit that I'm going to mate this with is the multi-view system that you have. It essentially tells you what obstructions are there at the front axle. You can see all of that on the screen, especially when you are going to climb on some rocky terrain like this, where you may not have enough visibility, you may not have a spotter with you. This system is going to help you out. And I'm going to use the DAC crawl mode. So after that, my legs are off completely. No brakes, no accelerator. I'm only going to use my hands to control the steering, and the vehicle is going to do the rest. I've put it on 1 kmph crawl, which means it is nicely going to crawl on top of these rocks.
Crawl control will distribute torque, brake the necessary wheels, and even keep altering the hydraulic pressure of the brakes to ensure that the wheels with traction will help the vehicle gracefully crawl over slippery terrain like these rocks or even slush and wet pebbles or foliage. And this works both ways, uphill as well as downhill.
So the GX is placed under the LX in terms of the portfolio, in terms of the lining up, and I hope Lexus India is able to bring the GX to India very soon, because this is one serious car and one vehicle that I will certainly recommend if you don't want to stretch all the way to the LX.
If Lexus were to launch the GX in India, it will be priced approximately between 2 to 2.4 crore rupees, and it will go up against the likes of the Toyota Land Cruiser 300, the Range Rover Sport, and also the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon 400. We'll take a very quick break here on the show, but coming up on the other side, we drive Mercedes-Benz's very first ground-up electric vehicle, the Mercedes EQE.